Yes, see, historical revisionism, or the case of historical revisionism, is of Australia's frontier wars, which have not been mentioned in any official commemorations by the Australian War Memorial, and which aren't really acknowledged in most parts of Australia. So the First Nations people would like that historical revisionism to take place, as would some historians who have been, like Henry Reynolds in Australia, who have been arguing for that for perhaps 40 years now, because acknowledging those wars in our history is an important part of truth-telling, and then being able to heal from the injustices of the past, where the British invaded Australia, and even now, First Nations people don't have sovereignty, they don't have a treaty, they don't have a voice to Parliament. So this revisionism is really important in helping people understand the causes of present-day injustices to First Nations people. I think it would contribute to much greater sense of equity and justice for First Nations people. It's about the opposite of denial. It's about allowing another part of our history to be part of our major national story. And that part of the history has been misunderstood, poorly researched in some cases, and not included in the story of Australia. And where it is included, it's been seen as something called black armband history, sort of negative. So many Conservative people want Australia to be seen as a progressive country, building on progress, pioneering and so on. But including this history and revising it means it's a much more complex history, and it does tell a much better story of Australia's origins and help people move forward to equity for all in that process, particularly First Nations people. I think digital media is only positive, but it can't be on its own in interpretation. It needs to accompany visiting a site and having interactions with people associated with that site, and also some physical forms such as signs or visitor centres. But digital technology opens up possibilities for interactivity, where the audiences can contribute to the stories, where local communities can contribute new knowledge and add to the interpretation of their past. Things like virtual reality can take us back into a time period and really help people empathise or step into the shoes to some extent of those people from the past. Social media is really important to appeal to people of your age, but also to broaden this thinking so that the work's actually reaching the broadest possible public, not just contained within the site or contained within a history book, but speaking in the language that everyone speaks in. So digital technology to me is really, really crucial for making interpretation work for your generation, which apparently really likes the QR code and the digital media, as well as my generation, which is coming around and actually starting to really value that.